everyone, welcome to Sportsbet TV. Paul Alster here with you, and as always I'm looking forward to my racing. And this particular weekend there is some marvellous action on Saturday, particularly at Newbury and Newcastle, and then on Sunday at Fairyhouse. And I've got 4 selections for you across the 2 days, and most of them are very tasty prices as well. So I'm looking forward to presenting those to you in a few moments' time. Now, following 3 very profitable months here at Sportsbet, November has been noticeably quiet. It's been a thin time, not even a sniff. And once again, last weekend was nothing to write home about. Only The Future is Bright really running well. He was very heavily back, though, from the 9-2, 5-1 I suggested, down to 5-2. He finished third at Haydock, having gone well for a long way. Yorkhill wasn't disgraced in Ireland, finishing 5th in a hot race. Mackenberg, though, at Haydock ran poorly. The other one was a non-runner. But this is always going to happen when you're tipping big price horses. You're going to have periods where things are rather fallow and quiet, and then all of a sudden we burst back into action and we hit the target. And I'm hoping that's going to be the case once again this weekend. Patience truly is a virtue, and that's why overall we're showing such tremendous profits over the last 18 months. Now, if you're new to the service, please press the subscribe button just below this screen, and then you'll be able to keep in touch with all of my messages as we move forward. Now, those of you that have been with me for a while will remember very fondly, I suspect, this very weekend 12 months ago, because it was on this weekend that I tipped you last year a horse called Yorkhill in the Rehearsal Chase at Newcastle, and he went and made every yard of the running and won at 66-1. So let's hope that history is going to, if not repeat itself at those odds, certainly deliver us something special for this weekend. And if you're looking for shorter prices, I'm tipping over at freebets.com at YouTube and having a wonderful, wonderful run with 5 of my last 8 selections there, having hit the target at good prices. So worth checking those out as well, because maybe you'll want to combine some of those with some of the bigger prices I'm offering you here at Sportsbet. Well, let me take you on to my first selection, which is on Saturday, and it's at Newcastle, and it's in the 205. Yes, the Rehearsal Chase. The race won at 66-1 by Yorkhill last year. It is a handicap over very nearly 3 miles, 13 runners, and Sandy Thompson, who trained Yorkhill for us and was a real star for us because he also served us up with another big winner or 2 during the course of last season. He's likely to have the favourite in this race called the Ferry Master, who was 4th in the Scottish Grand National at Ayr. So he's a horse who stays well. And he was also a fair third on his reappearance over 3 3/4 miles at Kelso. This, of course, a drop back in trip for him, but he's a talented horse. And he's forecast around the 4-1 favourite, having been eased £1 since his comeback run at Kelso. Now, another very good northern chaser is called I Write, trained by Harriet Graham. Had a great time of things last season, a very classy horse. He was second, of course, this very weekend last year to Cloth Cap in the Ladbrokes Trophy handicap chase, the former Hennessy Gold Cup. That was a wonderful effort. That was off a mark of 150. He was also third at the Cheltenham Festival. I mean, this is a horse with a lot of ability. He's again likely to be on the premises. And Sandy Thompson, who saddles the Ferry Master, he also has another one that I was quite interested in called Dingo Dollar. Now, Dingo Dollar was second in the Scottish National, and he's a horse who is very much respected. But my choice here is a horse I recommended to you a few weeks ago, and I'm sticking with him. His name is Spirit of the Games. He's trained by Dan Skelton down south and the Mount of Bridget Andrews. And this is the horse I tipped you over at Cheltenham in the Paddy Power Gold Cup a few weeks ago, where he didn't run at all badly over 2.5 miles, finishing 9th of 19 to Sue Smith's Midnight Shadow. Now, he really stayed on well in the closing stages from the home turn and was gaining on them all the way up the hill. I think the extra 3.5 furlongs is going to be just about ideal for him. Remember that at Aintree last season, at the April meeting, the big one, in the Grade 3 over 3 miles, 1 furlongs, he was a very good third off a mark of 144. And he's now running off £3 lower and running back at a trip that I think might just bring out the best in him. I had hoped the stiff 2.5 miles at Cheltenham would do the same, but maybe he just needed a run or two to get to peak fitness this season. Now, at the time of this recording, at Friday early lunchtime, he's a 6-1 shot each way, 4 places available, and I think that's a pretty fair price. He may drift a bit, so as always, shop around. But for me, Spirit of the Game's worth another chance in a race that has served us already so well on this service. That is in the Rehearsal Chase at Newcastle, Saturday at 2:05. And then I take it to Newbury, to the Ladbrokes Trophy Chase, the 3 o'clock on Saturday. It is, of course, a race filled with great moments of history, of drama. It is the old Hennessy Gold Cup, one of the biggest handicap chases of the season, over 3.25 miles, £250,000 in prize money, 21 runners. The going forecast good to soft, good in places, but as I'm sure some of you will know, the weather is beginning to turn and we could start to get a bit of rain or even sleet around this weekend that could ease the ground. It's a race, as I say, with so many great memories, not greater than Denman's 2 victories. The second was absolutely breathtaking. And last year, there was a very good winner off a low weight in Cloth Cap. Cloth Cap is back to try and make it back-to-back wins. That would be something quite exceptional. He's £18 higher, but he did run very well on his reappearance, I thought, at Cheltenham when he was 4th recently, and so he's probably not going to be too far away. He is a good horse for whom connections do hope to have possibly even Gold Cup pretensions. Welsh National also an option. Now, Willie Mullins, he won this race a few years ago, massive gamble on a horse you may remember, appropriately called Total Recall. That was in 2017, and he's got one here that's a similar type called On the Ropes. And it wouldn't be a surprise to see this one, which is favourite for many people, at 9-2 at the time of this recording. Won't be surprised to see this one go awfully close. Willie also has a couple for Susanna Ritchie in Animix and Brahma Bull, neither of whom can be totally discounted. But he was very impressive indeed, was On the Ropes, when winning the Munster National last time out. He has gone up quite a bit in the weights. Now, also from Ireland, Henry de Bromhead, who, of course, sent over his superb Gold Cup contender to win the Betfair Chase last week at Haydock. He's got Eclada Rear. This one unseated at Cheltenham in the big Grade 1 novice chase won by Monkfish in March, when still in with a chance. It's a very classy horse, and it's already won the listed chase at Wexford on its reappearance. And Rachel Blackmore is going to be in the saddle. Now, others to consider here are the trio that fought out that remarkable finish to the Bet365 Gold Cup at Sandown in late April. Potterman, Kitty's Light, and then Relo. And they're locking horns again. My preference among those three will be for Kitty's Light, who is an extraordinarily progressive and mature 5-year-old. And he was a very good second at Wetherby on his reappearance. And those are just a few with chances in the race. But in the end, having given this a lot of thought, my choice is a horse called the Hollow Ginge, who's trained by Nigel Twiston Davis and was ridden by his son, Sam Twiston Davis. And this is what I call the sporting each way choice here at big odds. And he ran at very big odds in this race last year. He was 50-1 when he finished 4th behind Cloth Cap, and he was doing some very good work there at the finish. Now, after that, he didn't really run very well for the rest of the season, but he did reappear this season looking as if he's back to his best, and he might be a horse who just goes best in the autumn. He was second on his reappearance at Cheltenham 5 weeks ago, and he was only beaten ahead there by Definite Plan, a horse of Gordon Elliott's who looked to have gone in there off a silly low weight. And he was giving that horse £9, and the winner also had a fitness advantage on him. So I do think that the run by the Hollow Ginge at Cheltenham really does augur well for a mighty run here at Newbury. And in the case of this horse, any rain or easing of the ground really is going to enhance his prospects. So if you see the rain coming down Friday night to Saturday morning, or even in the hour or two before the race, then he really is going to have a better and better chance. Now, when I picked him out last night, there was still some 33-1 around, particularly with Bet365 was standing it, but that's gone. Many of the firms are already cutting this one to around 20 to 1, but 25's still available with Bet365, some of them offering 22s, and some of the firms will be offering up to 7 places. So once the betting gets underway, Friday's action is out of the way and everybody focuses on this former Hennessy Gold Cup, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of firms trying to get your money, trying to draw you in. And I'd expect that 25 to 1 is going to be available. Who knows, even bigger. We'll see how it goes. But the Hollow Ginger, I think, to go even better than his 50 to 1 fourth in the race last year. That's at Newbury at 3 o'clock on Saturday. And then I take you to the following race at Newbury, which is the 3:35. And this is a very competitive 2-mile handicap chase for which there are 13 runners. And Great Diamond, who's trained by Sam Thomas, Sam having a very good season, is potentially a well-handicapped horse. He was a good third on his reappearance at Ascot 4 weeks ago. He's a 5 to 1 favourite on the odds I'm seeing at the moment. He won't be far away. Now, Paul Nicholls has got an interesting one. It's an ex-French horse who's just had the one run in Britain called Il Ridisto or Il Ridotto. Can't quite pronounce the thing. Anyway, it was 3rd and 4th at Newton Abbot in a novice chase on its debut for the stable 7 weeks ago. A handicap chase there. It's down £2. Could potentially be on a good mark. You've always got to respect Paul Nicholls, as you have Dan Skelton, who's got a horse called Eclair d'Année. Now, this one has got a tongue tie on for the first time, so obviously they feel its breathing hasn't been 100% in recent starts, but it was forced to good boy Bobby at Wetherby last month in a listed handicap chase over 2.5 miles. No extra from 2 out there. I just felt it didn't quite get home, but maybe they felt the horse was making a noise or something, and they've got the tongue tie on, which could help. Fergal O'Brien, he saddles Gumball, who's another horse with claims, and I think he'll be better for a very promising reappearance at Carlisle. And then you've got Star Max, who's an ex-Irish horse, making its debut for the David Pipe Yard. And they often do well with horses from other stables, and often first time out. So this one definitely worth a market check because he's quite a big price on the Friday betting lists. But my choice here at Newbury in this 3:35 is a Northern Raider called, I think it's pronounced Sao, S-A-O, Sao or Sao, trained by Rebecca Menzies and the mount of Nathan Moscrop. Now, this horse was impressive when he won over the course and distance at Newbury in a handicap chase last December off a mark of 125. He really did come bounding home, and he seems to really like this flat galloping track. He also won at Wetherby, another galloping track, in January of this year on heavy ground off 133. And he made what I thought was a very promising reappearance at Aintree just 3 weeks ago. In a good handicap chase, he was travelling strongly from 3 out. 2 out, it looked as if almost Nathan Moscrop was going to take a pull. And then he just seemed to blow up and just get outpaced going to the last. The winner got away from him before he stayed on again after the last, just getting probably a second wind. And he ran a very, very creditable race. He's been put up £1 for finishing second there. But of course, Nathan Moscrop claims that £3. He knows the horse really well. And I think he'll strip fitter for that first run of the season. Now, rather like the Hollow Ginger in the previous race, Sao is a horse who likes to get his toe in. So if there is any more rain, every drop of that rain is going to help his cause. And the best odds on offer, when I looked just a few minutes ago, were with, once again, Bet365, who are proving very competitive. And they were offering 14 to 1, 14 to 1 each way, Sao. Sky Bet offering 12 to 1 and 5 places. So take your pick there, what you prefer. It's 4 places elsewhere. So Sao is my choice for Rebecca Menzies and Nathan Moscrop to make it 2 from 2 at the track at Newbury over this trip. And then, well, you're going to have to wait until Sunday afternoon for my 4th selection. And that is what is a wonderful card of Grade 1 action at Fairyhouse. It really is a great day's racing where we're going to get so many clues about the Cheltenham Festival and other big meetings going forward. Now, while I remember, I've noticed in the comments 1 or 2 of you asking me about anti-post selections for Cheltenham and so on and so forth. And I've got to be honest, that after last year and having had some very near misses with anti-post selection, I've just decided that really I'm not going to bother with anti-post. There's normally enough value there with the horses, the type of horses that I'm betting at big odds on the day of the race when they're definite runners. So I'm not going to lead you down the blind alley and get you putting money on horses that won't run. Let's save the money until much closer the time when we know who's fit, who's well, who's still in training, and we're able to really focus on those big races going forward from late February into early March, building up to the Cheltenham Festival. But we'll get lots of clues for the festival from Fairyhouse. And the race I'm interested in is the 135 on Sunday, the Grade 1 Drinmore Novices Chase over 2.5 miles. 10 runners this year. It was won last year by Envoy Allen. So this really is a top-notch event. And Gordon Elliott has won 5 of the last 8 runnings. He's got a couple in the race this year. He's got Fury Road, who was second to Gabby Narco last time out, who's going to be running as well on Sunday. And that was over 2 miles, 5 furlongs on his reappearance. He's also got a horse called Grand Paradis, a grey, who looked held, I thought, when he when third, close third, 2 out, behind Lifetime Ambition just a few weeks ago. Lifetime Ambition is the horse who's forecast favourite here for Jesse Harrington at around 5-2. So quite a few form lines tying in between Lifetime Ambition, Grand Paradis and Fury Road. And there are other form lines as well here that have tie-ins. Beacon Edge is another one who reopposes. He ran very well in that race behind the winner the other week. And he reopposes for good old Noel Mead, man, of course, of Jeff Kidder fame, as well as many other great horses. My thinking, though, having watched quite a few replays of these various races that provide the form guide for this Grade 1 Trinmore, is that Midnight Run could be the one to be on for Joseph O'Brien and Rachel Blackmore riding. It is one of 4 horses owned by the Jigginstown House stud of Ryanair's Michael O'Leary, a horse who was no slouch over hurdles, rated 140. It ran second to Captain Guinness over 2 miles at Punchestown in December, and then wasn't seen again until finishing 9th of 24 in a very hot handicap hurdle at the Punchestown Festival in April. Now, Midnight Run reappeared at Fairyhouse in that race, won by Gappy Narco. And Gabby Narco, who I think is trained by Gavin Cromwell, had a previous run this term, so he came there likely slightly fitter. And in the end, Midnight Run only gave best after the last, and he was under the £5 claimer Shane Fitzgerald. I thought he ran really well, and I actually fancy him to reverse the placings because the 2nd, 3rd and 4th were all bunched up just behind Gabby Narco. Now, on the basis of that, and on the basis that Rachel takes over from a £5 conditional jockey, even though Shane Fitzgerald is a potential big star of the future, and saying that Midnight Run should be fitter for that first run back, I think he looks the value, especially as the furlong shorter trip of 2.5 miles, I think will possibly suit him better than 2 miles 5. And the best odds on offer as of Friday noon, the 12-1 offered each way for William Hills and Novibet. Others are offering 10-1 and thereabouts, but 12-1 is available, and I'll be on that one each way. Midnight Run for Joseph O'Brien, the baby-faced assassin, and the wonderful Rachel Blackmore in the 135 race at Fairyhouse. That's the last of my 4 for this weekend. Remember, if you're looking for shorter prices, to check out my thoughts at freebets.com, where I've been doing so well on their YouTube channel. But for now, for what promises to be a really outstanding weekend's racing, thanks very much for joining me. Let's hope we bounce back to form this weekend. And I look forward, as always, to seeing you same time next week. Bye-bye for now.